Welcome back to the Billabong Pipe Masters in loving memory of Andy Irons. John Florence stitching up a second world title. Jeremy Flores progressing through to the semi-finals, getting the jump on Gabriel Medina and knocking him out of title contention. But right now out in the lineup, 20 minutes to go in quarterfinal number 4 as we look for our last semi-finalist, Italo. High flying and still gunning down the line. He's chasing a number to get ahead of Kanoa Igarashi, who's holding onto a very slim lead at this point in time.
I'd have to say that is going to be enough to move him into the #1 position, not only in the barrel, but also in the air. And he's already taking a wave that basically had to go to the air. I mean, really, that's what he was looking at this. There's a lot of power in the ocean here. Beautiful front side air to reverse. Pulls it down with ease. You know, and again, is there going to be a change in the panel a little bit? Again, this is not a huge wave, but look at where he positions himself to do this air. This time gets the grab. He can do it without grabs, but this, with the wind, helps to keep that board planted right to his feet. You get to see the release as he completely rotates around, and that's where he gets that landing so easily.
You know, there was definitely some stress there, but he was certainly performing well, so we'll see if he can match some former Pipe Masters who've won the world title and gone on to win the Pipe Masters the same year as Italo finishes off. Another air reverse there.
Has he even gotten his hair wet? It's just the fro. Shakes it out and it goes. He's got some big hair right now.
Not sure if that one will go quite as high, but he only needs something better than a 0.93 to extend his lead.
Again, that big front side air. That time he holds the grab a little longer. On a smaller wave, gets to flare out that tail, and that what kind of helps when you have that grab. He's able to push it out. You can hold it a little longer.
Never give up, you know. Always there's a chance. Doesn't matter what's going on. Yeah, and always try hard. That's what I had, and yeah, I'm coming back for next year.
We saw your emotion at the end of the heat. What was going through your head in that last couple of minutes?
And Italo holding on to a narrow lead. Kanoa Igarashi chasing a 6.77. Italo up once again. He finds a nice little barrel. Loading up for something big down the line. This wave standing up again. And he's going to bank hard off the oncoming right.
Tag that thing. Kind of funny sometimes you feel like it's a little bit of a letdown. And even though that was a very dynamic turn, you wanted to see something so huge from him. Again, roaming the lineup and then opening his eyes to these lefts. Even though they're shorter, they do give you some opportunity on that inside section of the sandbar. And he knows that he could probably get a quick barrel and then get some turns. But look at all that speed, and he just hammers that lift. A healthy Italo is so dangerous because we did see him at the mid part of the year with that ankle injury, or the beginning of the year, but then he had to surf through. You know, he did take an event off, but I think he was, back with a limited injury there. And a lot of surfers you end up seeing surfing through those injuries. He carries to do something just ginormous.
Well, his numbers have come without the barrel ride so far. So it's going to be interesting to see where that falls. I think he was aware that he banked some points with the tube and just wanted to finish that one off.
Area, that's really kind of the main part of the peak, but you can move in between that and then that big crack to the left of the screen for the backdoor section.
Italo's eyeing off the left, loading up, plenty of speed. This is going to be good. Launches into the air. The wave, unfortunately, just flattened out a little bit, so he didn't have that steep launching pad to race off into.
But you see the adjustment.
Movement here, Kanoa seeing something that he likes in this right. And he's going to load up straight into the pit. Deep in the barrel, still rolling. Nice. Finds his way through.
6.77, that's what he needs. This is the first true barrel that we've seen, and he was pretty darn deep. Again, that wave guttered out, even though it had some chandeliers. He kept the speed all the way through it. I feel like it could be enough, because he was pretty darn deep there.
We've seen some great surfing get scored pretty low throughout the event. But Italo on the left, beyond full rotation.
That was awesome. Again, that's that awareness in the air.
We'll see how this set lines up with the reef. Kanoa has control, and he's going to opt to go this wave. Late into it, ducks in. Can he find his way through? A lot of white water inside that barrel, and with just over a minute to go, he's going for it. Will this wave barrel? I don't mind if it doesn't, because we could see something huge. He loads up, looking for something big down the line, tries to climb up onto that section. It's not going to do it. He'll be left chasing that 4.41. Igarashi continues his magic roll here at the Pipe Masters with the barrel ride through to the inside. Doesn't find the exit, but that's not going to matter. He's into the semi-finals. He'll be taking on Jeremy Flores.
Wow, we start to have to look at Kanoa Igarashi as a pipeline contender each and every year we come here now. I mean, again, he has been putting together a good read at the backdoor section. Congratulations to Kanoa.
Finals day shaping up nicely. Amazing semi-final matchups to look forward to. Gabriel Medina, well, he is going to be locked in a fierce battle, taking on Kaloe Andino. Andino chasing his first CT win, has a great opportunity, warming at the right time on the bottom side of the draw, semi number 2. And as a result, that swell has been building throughout the day. During the break, Italo Ferreira took this right.
A lot of patient time at the start of this one as he makes his way down the line. Nice backhand carve. Got to get some work done down in here. Beautiful vert again. Will he get stuck behind her? Is it going to ease up? It eases up, gives him another chance. And there's a beautiful closeout carve. Great control, great tempo. Looked very, very calm and very relaxed. Actually looked a little more amped in the locker room before the heat. But great opener and a good way to start it.
Beautiful way to start. A 6.5 for Italo.
The break before it, here's Kanoa.
Kanoa Igarashi has a 1.13, just a quick throwaway on the board, kicked out of the ride. And he's proven himself to be one of the hardest competitors to come up against in 2019. So consistent at putting up solid scores. And driving off the bottom into a nice hook there. On his way to a solid number here. Italo open with a 6.5. We'll see where the judges go with this in a moment. If he can finish this one off strong, he's got a great chance of eclipsing that 6.5. Needs more though, and he'll give it. Drifts that tail on the inside and punches through that very last section of the ride there at Impossibles.
Replay, first float. A little tweak out of the top just to give it something a little more. Then a beautiful carve down the face. Gets around this one. Another one of those carves into the lip. Look at this section. Just keeps presenting itself in a beautiful layback snap out of the top. Look at this section. Just right. That's what we love about Jeffreys Bay. It's a racetrack down the inside. This is where he gets that beautiful big, look at this one. Big rail carve. Not often the J-Bay gives you the time to draw your turns out that far and then into that beautiful tail wafting closeout turn. Great ride, great opener, and I would say advantage to Kanoa.
You get another look at some of these big frontside turns here from Igarashi. And I think you rewind the clock a few years back here at Jeffreys Bay, and Kanoa just didn't have that size in his surfing. You know, he was still working on his craft, but in the last couple of seasons, in particular 2018, he worked Jeffreys Bay out. He always stayed at the venue, even if he got knocked out early, did a lot of free surfing. Definitely one of the hard workers on the championship tour, put the time in. As we see Kanoa Igarashi during the interview.
Driving down the line, carves out of the top, into the lip, wafts the tail, as he does so confidently and so often, into this big closeout turn, flying out of the lip and just projected so far along the top of it. You see how he's holding the bottom turn, flattens the board out right there, and just has that absolutely beautiful timing, travels a couple of metres across the top of the wave, scores in a 6.77 for the ride before that, and I believe for Gabby at 15 in that last one. So it seems like 15, 8 and a 7 is a good scoring situation.
Well, that's what Italo Ferreira is going to go looking for now. Had a 6.5 on his first wave. Good looking set, standing up here. These faces just being groomed by that offshore wind as Italo goes flying down the line. Hammers the pocket. In transition a couple of times there. Nice whip. A bit more committed on this final section. Gets the board right up in there. And he likes the feel of that. Starting to celebrate the feeling of getting that big finish on a high quality wave out here.
pumps down the line into a quick hit out of the top. Stands up in front of him. Beautiful race turn and then drives from behind the whitewater into a more of a carving type of the top turn. Another speed turn out of the top. Pumping and driving around this section. A good size set wave into the lip. Critical from this angle into another beautiful carve. No wonder he liked it because that three-turn combo down the inside was fantastic. Driving, carving. Great positioning on this one. And this steep bit in here, from the other angle, I thought it was a little horizontal, but when you look at that, it had no choice because that wave was freight training down the line. Got that beautiful first turn into the second and straight into that third closeout turn. Great combination. Given the size of that wave, the combination of turns, I feel like that will be the best wave of the heat so far. Because it's freezing out there. Here we go.
Igarashi, just 21 years of age, and just building as a performer, building as a championship tour competitor. Finishes are getting stronger every year, and broke through at the Corona Bali protected event for his first championship tour win, with just mistake-free surfing on finals day as she gets ready to hit the lineup against Carissa Moore in that first semi-final for the women's event here at the Corona Open J-Bay. Kanoa Igarashi eyeing off all these insiders, looking for opportunities. I think just trying to distract Italo, but he's sitting on the outside just waiting for those big bomb waves.
And those who are trying to find it.
Well, Kanoa, he forces Italo to make the big decision here. Priority used, and he goes flying down the line. Board almost wanted to flip on in there. Did well to get it back under his feet. This wave's starting to step out. There's a bit of a double up in it. Should steepen nicely on the inside. Italo standing back on the tail, waiting for the wall to do its thing. Now we'll go on the attack. Driving up into the pocket a couple of times. Been just a little behind the section as he moves down the line here, but starting to make up for it now. Link sequence on the inside. Tries to stuff one more floating re-entry on the end section. Can't bring it down.
When it comes to wave selection, super important, very critical. Beautiful first float up. A little bit of downtime, just waiting for this wave to start to feel the reef and start to do its thing. Running down towards the impossible section. This is where Italo started to get the work done, looking to improve on the 6.5. Tight to the pocket, super tight. But that tightness kind of restricted the flare out of the top perhaps at times. And then through to the inside, it was like, well, if he completed that, there's every chance. Look how bowly, look how late. Courageous attempt.
Wild attempt there.
If it's a bomb, and you've got to be on that bomb, because if it's not a bomb, there's no way you're getting that score.
Without priority on the inside, the Brazilian Italo is going to go looking for a score better than at 7.03 to push the requirement higher for Kanoa. A couple of big floats, just tight rope walking across the lip there, and maintains control up into the pocket now, settling into the rhythm of this wave, hammering down the line, accelerating out in front of it, big drift on the tail. One of the more dynamic hits that he's thrown down in this quarterfinal clash. And he'll look to finish this one off right on the inside. Super sparky on the end section. Can't ride out though.
Oh, unsuccessful, but doesn't matter so much for him. Does Kanoa get another chance? Under 30 seconds, Ronnie. Oh, 3 Brazilians in there with Kalohe Andino. Gabriel Medina, Felipe Toledo. You know, and Italo, and 3 of those highlight acts. Throw Kalohe in there as well, and we've got the best surfers in the world in our semis vying for a world title.
Bring it on. Italo marching on through. We're going to take a quick break. When we return, Joe Tapel, Mark Potter, and a very special guest step into the booth. Last time we were here, Italo got himself a second place finish, and he is looking to go one better in 2022, but he's got a tough draw up against Kanoa Igarashi. And these two featured heavily at last year's Olympics. Italo got the gold medal, and Kanoa finished up with a silver medal, and now they're going after a semi-final place. Well, here we go. Quarterfinal number 2 getting underway with Kanoa Igarashi. Big tail drop float, and he's not going to stick it. So he could transition and keep that speed to get down the line. And must have hit a bump. And he's been knocked off, and Italo will get a chance here. Big drop out of the lip for him. So controlled in those moments where he's falling out of the sky. But he doesn't link it through to the inside.
Yeah, Luke had mentioned how, the maturity of the swell. So these storms move basically from west to east as they move underneath the cape here.
Just because there is great points of difference in all their surfing. Jack Robinson's really focused on some of the barrels out here, as well as having strong turns. Italo on his backhand explodes through the lip, sets the tail free quite regularly. Iago and Connor have just been all power, and then the rail, just perfection of Geordie Smith and Ethan Ewing we can look forward to in quarterfinal 4 as we see Kanoa up on his second ride. First wave didn't count for anything, but this one is certainly going to be a decent start to this quarterfinal clash as he drives up into the pocket once again, mixing things up by grabbing that rail. Hit a couple of bumps, but finishes it off nicely with a solid hit there. He's not done with it. Reconnects with that open face, gets one more little fin hit in.
Take a look at the outside work here for Kanoa. And I like the pickup for Strider saying that there's a little glass off, because it does feel that way. Beautiful 2 turns there with just this big layback hook. He got a little stuck there, but he was able to drive through it. So the outside work feels pretty strong. This way where you talked about the split in half.
Yeah, nice hit there to finish. He really made something of nothing. Luke Egan watching on, Luke. But it's fun to look at the backhand approach of Italo up against Kanoa Igarashi.
It sure is, Ryan.
Kanoa going by me now, big smiles. Looks like he was psyching to get back out there. Can't wait to see the rest of it. It actually has a bit of a glass off happening right now, so we could be lucky and have some smooth surface through this heat.
Well, Italo's going to try and find some on this ride. Drives up actually through the whitewater. Doesn't really tee off on the first section though, so at this point he's really just in transition mode, waiting for that first big major move as he just paces himself. Now lines up this steeper wall. Good blast there. He's going to drive up into it again. Bit of foam on the face, no dramas for the 2019 event runner-up, and he's going to finish on the inside, and that'll be a good reply to what Kanoa surfed up earlier on in El Salvador and Rio, and eyeing off another place in the semis here. But while he didn't get that first turn quite right, he made up for it down the line here.
He did. Again, these are more transitional moves, not a steep section or not, and he sets it up knowing there is going to be this one major section, executes a beautiful turn there, and then, oh, look, I got another section, and just loads up, carves through the lip, lands easily.
Let's have a look at a replay of Italo's ride during the break.
Ooh, little struggle there at the beginning turn, but no worries for him. He gets around it. Nothing going there. 1.6, I think, for Italo. Now this way. Ooh, beautiful arc there. Little point of difference with the way he used his arms through that turn. And then again, using the layback. And another beautiful carve. This is a great wave for Kanoa Igarashi on the outside. He's been able to do the maneuvers on that outside section, which is very important. And see what he gets on the inside as this one loads up. Another beautiful layback snap. Pulls it off, no worries. And could be getting a little bit bigger than his last number.
Disconnect between his maneuvers, and since he's found it, obviously he's gone on to a world title, and he's looked so brilliant through this contest. He's up once again here. And it's a nice looking wall. It's got a good pace to it, and it's starting to stand up now, and Italo, you can see, just hangs back and waits for this wave to do its thing. Some steeper sections coming his way at the moment. Oh, a little wobble there, but he's going to hang on to it. Drives up into the lip, and there is a well-timed hit, and he sends it into the lip, but can't ride out of that final manoeuvre. And it's interesting, isn't it? Whenever you see a competitor trip up at some stage on the wall here at Jeffreys Bay, it seems to be very hard to recover and complete that ride.
And not only recover, it's so in focus. Chris Moore having a very challenging quarterfinal heat that she was able to persevere. As we watch the replay here, outside work, nothing super dynamic, but just nice, great flow. You mentioned how he's had to work on that. There's the first stumble in this wave, but it actually put him in a good position for that maneuver, and then the finish just not as strong as he would have liked. He would have right out of that, and all of a sudden we're going to see a pretty good number, but instead it just comes in as a 5.
Yeah, it put him in a good position for that maneuver, but he would have liked to have gotten out of that one a little earlier so he could properly tee off on this. And this was almost a similar wipeout than the one we saw of Nat Young, which was just hectic, in a word. He got completely smashed on his equipment. It's lucky he didn't break his board or his ribs.
And then he had to kind of work on his flow, I think, at that point, and that's what you touched on, and he's been able to do that and became a world champion.
Yeah, he's had a number of wins with those airs, as we see Kanoa hammering down the line, looking to get rid of a 6.83 here. Nice looking wall. Big jam there. Great timing. The wave's going to stretch out. For a moment, he's going to roll with it and just see if he can get back out in front here, but this one is now starting to actually get away from him, and he gets out of it. But those first two turns were solid, and a real shame he couldn't find that connection to the inside, because it was looking like it was going to be a very strong roll.
Yeah, there's someone at the keyhole waiting with a board and a leash. So, yeah, he stopped running now, so we'll see what happens. It's just, there's a big set coming right now, so I think he's just taking his time. He's realising that he can't jump on the rocks right now and go. As we see Italo on a big one on the outside.
Oh, big turn off the top too for the Brazilian, as he glides through a transition hit here. Now looking just really to size up a big finish on this ride. And he is trying to chase down this score.
Here's the double up.
7.93. This thing's doubling up now as Italo climbs up into the pocket again, bashes it, falls out of the sky. And again, goes to the lip, and he hangs onto it. And there is the double fist pump. And that's exactly what he needed. A couple of big sections.
And that's just happening. This time, he gets the outside work done. I mean, that was a beautiful backhand hook. He sets up this next section here by carving it back, but waiting for the steepest part of it, tags it once again, gets some drift. So two solid moves on the outside. This feels like the best wave of the heat. Again, needing a 7.93 to turn it. You know, there's a question there. He's asking the judges. I mean, here, this mid part is the only slow part, but he's loading it up, or he's not loading up, but he sees that it's going to load up, and this is the meatiest section of this wave. Too beautiful. This one here specifically is just hammering that section with so much speed through the car. Crazy stuff there.
And he gets out of there. And have a look at these final two turns. Big section, and we know how much damage this has done to people over the course of the last couple of days.
And so commitment and degree of difficulty is usually looking at the section you're doing the maneuvers, and that one had so much water in it, and he comes out with speed and then goes straight into the second of the two-turn combos. Look, this one's going into the skyrocket. He's going to turn the heat.
Strider is a goofy footer. It must bring a tear to your eye. Here we go, movement on the outside. And this will be Kanoa Igarashi's shot at it. He's taken off on the first wave of the set. He's seeing some potential down the line here. Nice lit line float to get started. Plenty of speed to use on this section. Rips one through the top of the wave. And now loads up a whole lot of speed down the line. He's got to get a couple more big hits in here. This wave not as tall as what Italo had, so he's got to surf out of his skin as he drives up into the pocket one more time. Going to those rail turns. Big layback jam. And pacing himself as this wave steepens. Another nice hook, but now there's a bit of foam on the face that he's going to deal with. And I think he still needs the big finish. Driving up into the tube. And he's going to come through this one. Throws the hand up. And still going. Bit of a layback jam there. And now just pacing himself for the finish. Climbs the roof. Needs to stick and hangs onto it. Pumps the fist. 7.91 is the requirement. Did he do enough?
Oh, and yes, I think he did.
Impressive, and he showed a lot of nerve there, Luke Egan.
Incredible. Like, he ran past me, and he was just, you could see he was just calm breathing and just running up the point. The whole length of Jeffreys Bay Supers, like, he ran up here. See this keyhole, there's a low tide at 10:50 today, so there's a shelf at the end of this, and it's all sharp oysters, so it's not a clear passage. So Kanoa's run across the side of the rocks here, jumped in, got over the dry dock area and got back out and got that wave. That was incredible. I could just see, he just seemed so calm, and to get out there and get a wave and have an opportunity to take the heat, wow, that's blown my mind.
Oh, he read that wave so beautifully too. Just as we were saying earlier on, Pete, the wave selection, just it's instinctual, and he took that first wave of the set. The ride came together beautifully. And Italo is swinging. He's pretty deep on this section though, but there is enough transition for him to get that speed. He's going to opt out of this first one, and he might have time to get into the wave behind it, but we're waiting on the numbers to come through for Kanoa Igarashi. That amazing range of moves that he can call on, and the numbers starting to roll through, and it looks like it's going to be enough to turn the quarterfinal heat. and get him a place in the semi-finals, an 8.33.
Awesome stuff. I mean, it felt like it was enough for me to, and all 5 judges had it just enough. So incredible performance there. Such great composure for Kanoa Igarashi. He's found himself into the semifinals, and most likely he's going to work his way into that final 5 picture.
Unbelievable. What a great heat by 2 incredible talents. Italo putting up a 9 and a 6, but Kanoa getting the edge with an